I took care of my children. I had my own space my whole life. I worked in healthcare for quite some time. I worked in content sales, and I thought it was really bad. I thought, honestly, it had a really, really bad effect on me, bad impact on me. But yeah, so all of the bad stuff started, like they started stealing my makeup and doing all this stuff when I started getting like promoted in life. It felt like I went from being like this mom who was so like scared and alone and like regular to like a go-getter, you know? And I was like getting money and taking initiative and growing my business and learning business. And for the first time in my life, I was realizing that I could make money without being employed, you know? And that's when everything started going crazy, like crazy shit, you know? Like I told you guys before, the robberies and all that shit. So in like a matter of 6 months, I was getting beaten up, sexually assaulted. My makeup was all stolen from me. Most of my clothing was stolen. My furniture was all stolen. I pretty much escaped that relationship with nothing other than my electronics, my computer, my MacBook, my desktop Mac, my TVs, and like 3 bags of clothes, literally, and maybe like a case like that small of makeup, or smaller than that of makeup. And I had like a big case of makeup that they stole, like a lot of makeup, and like all expensive. I would say my makeup bag that they stole while I was in biopsy probably cost about $500 would be my guess. If you consider that the foundation that I used to wear was $63 a bottle, and there were 2 bottles of foundation, that in itself is $120. Now add in the palettes, the mascaras, the setting powders, the bronzers. I mean, for sure, I had $500 worth of makeup in that bag easily, and they stole it while I was literally having a biopsy. I'm not so much like concerned with who did it as I am concerned with why no one is helping me like fix it, like whatever it is, you know? If a woman or man came up to me and they were like, dude, I got sexually assaulted and beat up, and I reported it to the law, and I filed court paperwork for help, and still to this day, 4 years later, no one has been of any assistance. And because of that abuse, I was thrown into the street with nowhere to live, and separated from my children, and stalked out of like 20 different jobs and all this stuff. Like, what goes on? Like, how? This is why I say, are we in a simulation? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, where can you live in America where all of that stuff can happen and you can report it and they never show up to help you? Like, besides like the hood. I'm not in the hood. Look where I'm at. I'm in the downtown area regularly, daily. Just doesn't make sense at all, you guys. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And then what doesn't make even more sense is that now that we're here, like after I got out of that relationship, I never went back. I would call that person like only when like I would get robbed or like when bad stuff would happen, because I 100% blamed him for everything that was going on in my life. Like, I never called him asking him for money, even though he owed me. I never called his mom asking her for money, even though he reported that on his TikTok. He says all this stuff on his TikTok and none of it is true. And I swear to God to you, I wish that Xavier and I could go for like a conference call with me, him, and his third party, his third wheel. It'll never happen because they're so full of shit, you guys. Do you ever meet someone like that like they have no problem telling a world of lies about you? But when you confront them, especially in front of others, and you're like, let's get to it then, like, let's sort it out, they want nothing to do with it. Like, they're so big and bad talking about you, or I don't even think about that person has nothing to do with me. Like, bitch, you robbed my house and left your hat under my bed with your name embroidered in it. Clearly, definitely you think about me, even if you're just thinking about me to rob me or steal what's mine. Like, you've been thinking about me, you know? And for him to go on TikTok and tag me in a post that says, my mom just gave Heather $300 yesterday. What? Never, not once. Never. Not once. Never. We've got to be in a simulation. Like we just have to. We have to be in a simulation. There's no way. There is no way that this is real life. And now after everything that I've been through and getting pregnant with Weston while I was on birth control, while I was being held in a tent, assaulted in the tent, robbed pretty much on the regs, beat up, like held down, oppressed in every way, not allowed to work, stalked, having my stuff taken from me, being slandered online, being harassed in real life, all of that stuff. And we finally get into a shelter situation where they tell us this is the last shelter that we will be in. They're going to give me our apartment or our house from here. And then last week they come to me and tell me like everyone has to go. The winter bed program is closing. Like, listen, lady, this is not a winter bed program. What the fuck? We're in July, okay? It's July tomorrow or today. This is not a winter bed program. This is a shelter, a long-term shelter. We were at the short-term shelter for 2 weeks. They transferred us here and told us we would be here until we got our apartment. How come everyone else in the building got their apartment? Literally. 170 rooms in this building. Every single person is gone except for maybe 5 or 10. And because they got their apartments, but me and Xavier are the only ones who don't. And now they're trying to separate us. I emailed the lady. I'm like, please don't separate us. I'm like, please. They were raping me in the street before this. I'm like, we have a baby in the system that we are doing everything in our power to get out. Please help us. Please help us. She's going to respond tomorrow and tell me what to do. I was like, please, at the very least, let us stay here until the 8th. I do not want to go to a bunch of other places and be separated. And it's just so scary, you guys. I can't even like wrap my mind up around any of this shit. It's like, you would think that at a certain point, a person's life, like, you know what? Okay, let me be positive. This is me. This is my internal chatter. I'm like, you know what? Let me be positive about this. We all have karma, right? So I know I'm a good person. I know for a fact. That's why I said in the beginning, I have never been a shyster. Never have I ever been a shyster. So, you know, when it comes down to it, I know I'm still missing my charger. I have no idea where. Oh no, I found it. When it comes down to it, I know for a fact that I don't deserve the things that have happened to me. I know I don't. So with that being said, that I know I don't deserve the bad things that have happened to me, and trying to put a positive spin on things, it's like, well, I must really be putting work into my positive karma bank. All these bad things are happening to me. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. So I got stabbed. So that must mean that someday soon, someone is going to caress me and hug me and give me money and make me feel like the most beautiful, loved woman that exists, right? Maybe it'll be Xavier. Maybe Xavier will hit the lottery and him and I will be able to raise our son, and my other 3 children will be able to have a room in our house and come and go as they please. Maybe all the ways that people have harmed me, getting beat up by these dudes and strangled and sexually assaulted, maybe that was also that in the near future, someone can love me so much and treat me so nice, you know? Maybe they stole all my makeup because God wanted me to have better makeup. I really don't know. But I say it must be a simulation because it's like there cannot be people on earth who are going through shit like this, as much shit as I have gone through. I'm not trying to compare. I really am not trying to compare. I swear to God. But you guys, they got my baby in the system and my 3 children are with their dad, and I'm a mom before I'm anything, and they are separating me from that identity. For no reason. I swear to God, for no reason. There are bitches out here bogus as hell doing drugs. The drug they said I did was pot. Pot's a drug. It's legalized in the state of Illinois, and I don't even take, you know, prescription medication unless it's a prenatal vitamin, but I'm out here doing drugs, please. They're out here saying that I'm doing this and that. I'm not doing any of that shit that they say I'm doing. And it makes you wonder, like, who wins by lying on me? Who is winning by lying on me? I don't get it. I don't understand at all. That's why I keep saying, like, this has got to be a simulation. In what world do I live in where... And did I tell you guys the story about the fleeting and eluding that they charged me with? I have no criminal record. Okay, none. They put me in all these situations, and then once the police are like, grab me, they figure out what's going on, and it's never my fault. Like, not because I have refused to take accountability, but because it's really not my fault. Listen to this. So I had my car before they destroyed it. I'm at Walgreens on the corner of MAHM and Roosevelt Road. Roosevelt and MAHM. Yep. Roosevelt and MAHM. Do you guys know it's like Hillside, LaGrange? There's like a Target right there, a Krispy Kreme. They have like a whole bunch of stores like in this little area. I come out of that little area. I go heading south on MAHM. It turns into LaGrange Road. I take a left onto Roosevelt Road, I believe it is, and turn into the Walgreens parking like that. I go to get my prescription. I was picking up prescriptions. 2021 or 22, I think. Walgreens is like, we don't have your prescription in stock. You have to go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, no problem. Thank you so much. I never got out of my car. I had my seatbelt on the entire time. I was doing nothing wrong. I pull out onto Roosevelt Road heading east. Immediately, I get lit up. The cops are behind me. But it's not a cop car for any city. It's a cop car, all black, tinted as fuck, with one of those lights like that are just, I don't know how to describe it. They're like black, the lights, and like the whole car is black. And so I pull over right away, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? This is ridiculous. I don't know if that's Westchester right there, or if it's Broadview, or if it's, I don't know what it is, but I pull over immediately. I roll my window down. The cops refuse to get out of the car. I noticed something crazy going on. BLM is during this time. And when I was downtown during the BLMs, I was witness to dudes, grown men, being dragged out of their vehicles at red lights, and people just taking off in their cars, just taking off. And I was scared. You know, the news was reporting on a lot of the stuff that was going on during that time, like scary shit, you guys. Cop cars were overturned downtown on fire. Have you ever seen a car on fire, like in front of the Wrigley building? It was like, what the fuck? Urban Decay, you know, is more than just a makeup brand. And piles of bricks on the corners during the protests. Like, who the fuck put piles of bricks out there? Like, it was just crazy, you guys. It was so scary. It was very, very scary. So I'm pulled over, and the cop is like looking at me, he's like yelling over the thing, you're in danger. You're in danger. Please pull over. Please pull over. And I'm already pulled over. So I'm like, I roll my window down, and I'm like yelling to the cop, like, I'm like this. I'm like, you know, to the cop. And I'm like turning around and telling him, come on, like, come to my window already. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We were sitting there like 4 or 5 minutes. So the cop goes like this, like, and I'm like, no. He wanted me to like pull off of the shoulder at Roosevelt. There was hardly any traffic. It's like a 6-lane street, hardly any traffic, like a Sunday afternoon or something. Super, super slow outside. I'm in the shoulder, and he wanted me to like pull into like this dark alleyway. And I'm like, nope, not going. I'm like, not going. No, sir. No, sirree, Bob. So the cop says again, like, go over there. And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. I'm like, you come here. And I go live. I go live on my phone, and I put my phone in, like, I was driving DoorDash. I was Dasher of the Month at the time. And I put my phone in my little, like, you know, thing, and on my windshield, and I went live. Boop. So I'm live during this on Instagram at the One Heather GEE account. And I say it again. Now we're at like minute 6, 7 that I've been sitting there, and the law's not coming out of the car. So I get on my other phone. I always have another phone on me. Pro tip. Even if your other phone does not have service, you can always dial 911 from it. Keep your burner phones, keep your extra phones, keep your old phones, keep your non-working phones, keep your shattered phones. Always have an extra phone on you, because you can dial 911 from them with or without service. So I had an extra phone on me. And a lot of content creators have multiple phones, because you need one phone to shoot, you need one phone to talk, whatever you're doing, whatever. So I had this extra phone on me. Not this exact one, but another one. So I call 911. And I'm going live still, and I'm on the phone. I'm like, hi, my name is Heather Gillespie. I'm driving a Cadillac CTS in the color champagne. I gave her my license plate number. I'm like, it's my car. I have no warrants. I have no criminal record. I'm pulled over on the south east corner of Roosevelt Road and LaGrange Avenue. I'm not sure what town this is. There is a black unmarked truck who has some sort of lights on his car, who has pulled me over. And I want to know if you can verify that this is an actual traffic stop. I swear to God to you guys, on speakerphone, on the live, this lady goes, I can neither confirm nor deny that this is a traffic stop. That was all I needed to hear. I dropped the phone. I put the car into drive. I took off. In that exact moment, not 30 seconds later, not 10 seconds later, like this, simultaneously, 10 fucking cop cars. Like almost like I was in like some movie, like some Men in Black type shit. Like if the cop car behind me like morphed into like 5 other cars. Literally it looked like that. From just the one car behind me to literally like 6, 7, 8, 9 cars in like a 1 minute period. They just kept coming out of nowhere. At this point, I'm doing like, I don't know, 60 miles per hour on Roosevelt Road trying to get to the expressway. I'm terrified. I'm crying. I'm live. I'm like, you guys, it's not a real cop. I don't know what to do. I'm so scared. And I'm like literally live this entire time. I turned left I went into Broadview. I was heading north and I was heading towards 290 and I crossed over into Maywood. And 2 cops tried to like pick me off and do like a head-on collision with me. I threw the car in reverse before I could ever even put it in park. All of a sudden, I'm driving 40, 30 miles an hour backwards down Roosevelt Road. I go backwards onto the side street, put it forward, go like the other way, and I'm like going down, I want to say probably like 19th or 25th Avenue, but like 2 blocks over. You know how they have the busy streets and then like the little, like they look like alleys, but they're actual streets. And I'm going down that street and I'm so scared and I'm live the entire time. And this black guy, this old black guy, super gray old guy, driving a huge Bourbon, probably like a 2005 or 2004 Chevy Suburban. He pulls his Suburban. I'm crying, you know, and I have my windows on and it was winter and I'm crying. I'm like, I'm scared, help me. They're trying to hurt me. And he pulls his Suburban behind my car so I could pass and picks off the police so that they cannot follow me. And I get on the expressway 290 and I dip to Chicago. I went to report being raped about 3 weeks later. And when I went in person to the police to report being raped, I was put in handcuffs and charged with fleeing and eluding. I kid you not. I swear to God. They made me bond out. I had no money. I was sleeping in the backseat of my vehicle. I'm a mom, a fitness influencer who sometimes used to sell sexy content in 2018-19. I worked at the hospital for 6 years downtown. I worked at Alexian Brothers Hospital in the suburbs. I had 10 years of healthcare experience under my belt and 3 children under the age of 12 at home. No, under the age of 14 at home at that time. I was so exhausted, you guys, and I still am, because I've had no closure from any of this. None. No one has apologized to me. I have not received any victim services. I did not receive that bond money back. I wasn't guilty. I didn't flee and elude. I sat there for 10 minutes asking the officer what was going on. He refused to get out of his car. He tried to lure me into a dark, cut-off alley space off of the road. I called 911 and I asked them, who is this person? Is this a real traffic stop? And the dispatch said, we cannot confirm or deny. And get this, after that, when I got to Chicago, because I went to drive DoorDash and I drove DoorDash for like 3-4 days after that. And I called as soon as I got to like a good stopping point in Chicago, and I called 911 again and I explained what happened, and they told me, oh yeah, we'll put you in contact with that jurisdiction. And I said, okay, thank you. And they transferred me to the police. I don't even remember the city. And I said to the sheriff, I said, or what's the name of that guy, like the top guy in the police station, the sergeant. I said to the sergeant, sir, I'm not a criminal. I'm not doing anything wrong. En esos momentos estoy viviendo muy espantada todos los pinches días. I was afraid to come. I was afraid to go. I was afraid to sleep. I was afraid to stay awake.